The forest slept, wrapped in a blanket of darkness. Under a moonless sky, the trees stood, their gnarled fingers reaching up into the night, as if trying to grasp the stars that were hidden behind thick clouds. The air was heavy, thick with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves, a scent that seemed to cling to the skin and fill the lungs with every breath. No animals dared to make a sound, as if the very act of breaking the silence would awaken something ancient and powerful. This was a place of shadows and secrets, where the past and present intertwined, creating an atmosphere that was both mysterious and foreboding, best left undisturbed. The path was barely visible, swallowed by the encroaching darkness, making each step a journey into the unknown. Each twist and turn seemed to lead deeper into the heart of the forest, further from the safety of the world beyond, drawing the traveler into its enigmatic embrace. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the occasional snap of a twig underfoot, a reminder that even in the stillness, the forest was alive, watching, waiting. Daniel shivered, pulling his jacket tighter around him. The cold seemed to seep through every layer of clothing, chilling him to the bone. He could feel the dampness of the forest air clinging to his skin, making him shiver even more. He shouldn't have come this way, not at night. The path was treacherous, and the darkness made it even more so. Every step he took felt uncertain, as if the ground beneath him could give way at any moment. He knew the stories, the whispers of what lurked in the shadows of the forest after dark, tales of creatures that roamed the woods, unseen but always felt, their presence a constant, unsettling weight. But he had been foolish, too confident in his sense of direction. He had thought he could navigate the forest easily, even in the dark. Now he realized how wrong he had been. He told himself it was just the wind, the way it moaned through the trees, sounding like a mournful cry. The eerie sound seemed to echo through the forest, making the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. Just a fox, its eyes glinting in the darkness. He tried to convince himself that there was nothing to fear, that the glowing eyes were just a curious animal watching him from the shadows. Just his imagination, playing tricks on him in the stillness of the night. But deep down, he knew that the forest held secrets, and that he was not alone in the darkness. A twig snapped behind him. Daniel spun around, his heart pounding in his chest. His flashlight beam danced across the trees, but there was nothing there. Just the endless rows of silent sentinels, their branches intertwined overhead, forming a suffocating canopy. He started walking again, faster now. He could have sworn he heard something else, a soft whisper just at the edge of his hearing. He quickened his pace, his breath catching in his throat. He just wanted to get out of this forest, to be safe again. Section 4. The Growing Dread. He stumbled over a root, his flashlight falling from his grasp and rolling into the undergrowth. Darkness enveloped him, thick and absolute. Panic welled up inside him, threatening to consume him. He was lost, alone, and something was watching him. He could feel it now, a presence just beyond the reach of his senses, cold, malevolent, toying with him. He scrambled for his flashlight, his fingers brushing against something smooth and cold. It wasn't his flashlight. Section 5, face to face. He froze, his blood turning to ice in his veins. The forest around him was eerily silent. The only sound was his own ragged breathing. Shadows danced menacingly among the trees, and he felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Slowly he raised his hand, his fingers trembling as they closed around the object. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing in his ears like a drum. It was a bone, smooth and polished like ivory. The cold surface sent a shiver down his spine, and he could feel the weight of its history in his hand. He didn't need to see to know what it was. The realization hit him like a punch to the gut, leaving him breathless and terrified. He dropped the bone and scrambled back, his hand frantically searching for his flashlight. Panic surged through him, making his movements clumsy and desperate. He found it and fumbled to switch it on. His fingers slipped on the button, and for a moment he feared it wouldn't work. The beam flickered to life, illuminating the clearing in front of him. The light cut through the darkness, revealing the twisted shapes of the trees and the underbrush. And that's when he saw it. His eyes widened in horror, and a scream caught in his throat as he took in the sight before him. Section 6. The Unseen Terror. Two eyes, glowing like embers in the darkness, stared back at him. They were huge, inhuman, filled with a cold, predatory hunger that sent shivers down his spine. He couldn't breathe, couldn't move, couldn't tear his gaze away. The creature took a step forward, its form shifting in and out of focus in the darkness. Daniel screamed, a primal sound of terror that echoed through the silent forest. Then he turned and ran, blindly, desperately, into the night.